do you guys think anyone is going to get like actually arrested from this or anything else? Because like if you think of all the craziness around Russia hoax and all of the COVID stuff that we've been through a million times, and just like all of the scandals and everything that we've all lived through, nobody ever pays the price. Like you think they're dragging Tom Hanks away in handcuffs after this, like or whoever, you know what I mean? Like
What
Yeah.
about like the Manaforts and the Steve Bannons and like they all had to pay some sort of a price? And do you think because they didn't show up or testify? I'm not quite sure. I didn't follow that closely at the time.
Yeah.
My point being, is there going to be some sort of sacrificial lamb out there, like one fall
Scapegoat.
guy?
right.
A
Well,
scapegoat.
look,
Yeah. Yeah.
the one thing that seems really weird here is that Giselle Maxwell is in jail already,
Yeah.
basically for this. So if she's in jail, they must have had some evidence of who she was trafficking to, not just that they were, kids or whatever involved, but who were the clients. So
Yeah.
somebody has to know something. So I guess, yes,
Yeah.
something will come
Did
out of
you
it.
did you see Larry Summers' behavior in the last 24 hours? Whoa.
Did he step down from the board or something? Or
He just sort of went into he there's all kinds of incredibly problematic material out there, including him telling Epstein that he was his wingman. And he is admitting that he showed poor judgment. I don't want to put the words out unless I knew them exactly, but he's essentially taking accountability and stepping down from everything except teaching. I thought was odd. I bet he gets dismissed from that too.
Hmm.
But he is behaving like somebody who's in big trouble.
And that, my friends, is the best bumper music in the business. Welcome back to Actual Friends with my actual friends, Dave, Jillian, and Drew. And I think we have to continue the tradition that Rubin started, which is where the hell in the world are us as we record this episode? Rubin, you're
Well,
always, you're the one that stays still the most. You're the sane one out of us.
yeah, well, after my couple-week adventure in Australia, I shut down we had a couple little day trips for the remainder of the year, and I was like, that's it. I'm just staying home now. So no, this is not a green screen behind me. I am in my garage, and I'm going to play basketball because it's Wednesdays later, so I'm very excited, but always happy to talk to you guys too. This is a good warm-up. This is a mental warm-up for my physical activities later.
It always scares me when Dave starts talking about basketball, okay? Just be careful. No more surgeries. Don't go calling Dr. Drew then when you no, we're not gonna even put it out in the universe. Just be careful. You have a big party coming up.
All right, Ma.
Where's Jill?
Where am I? Oh my gosh. I'm back in LA, but only for a couple of days. I had to come in for a speaking engagement. And then I get to go back to Jackson and I don't come back. Thank God. Until like I think probably February.
Unfortunately, I am
Yeah.
stuck here in Los Angeles. I'm in Pasadena. This is home base. This is my
Yeah.
home studio. But I'm out a lot. So much like Jillian, it's a relief every time I leave.
I don't know if you guys are if you guys are all getting the same return feed that I'm getting. It's a little dark today, so Drew literally looks like he's just a head in a black box. I'm getting no body, and then I saw two hands appear out of nowhere. But you're basically just a floating head. It's pretty cool.
I think that's your return. It looks a lot better to me. So
yeah. Okay. And where are
yeah,
you, Miss Steele?
Well, I was gonna say, I am the last time I was on, which is 2 weeks ago, I believe, Drew, you were here at Fox News in New York City, holed up
Yes.
in a little closet as well, trying to make sure Wi-Fi didn't crash. So I just try to follow in your footsteps with everything I do in life right
Thank
now.
you.
So
Thank
I'm
you.
here at the Fox News. Just did a podcast with Tyrus. So great. He looks great, you guys. You know about his health kick and everything. He said he's got 20 more pounds. He looks great. I'm going to do gut filled tonight.
Oh, nice.
And I think Jesse Waters tomorrow. So I'm trying to get in and out of New York City before the chaos really begins. And no, I'm not talking about Mandami. I'm talking about Christmas. So
Oh.
a little bit of time. A little bit more time, but I want to go around here saying, hey, you idiots, enjoy the last couple months, but I'm not like that would make me look like I have the issues if I'm screaming at randoms in the streets, right?
I would avoid it. Devin, I will tell you this. When I sat in an Uber for about an hour to go a mile, it did make sense as to why free, fast buses could get someone elected if, of course, they had, a genie in a bottle and could really make that happen. But outside of that, I agree with you completely, Sage. 100% on your page.
Well, now he's admitting, well, free things aren't actually free. You're like, what a concept.
No
Did you
shit.
guys did you guys see it? You saw the commercial that he now put up where he needs to
Yes.
he needs I'm gonna ask you for money again. I need $4 million for inauguration. Wait, can I
Dave,
get here? I'm
Dave,
gonna
I
do
was in New
yeah.
York. I was in New York that week, and those commercials started the day after he was elected. It
Yep.
was the funniest thing ever.
I
Yep.
actually thought about making that one of our topics today, one of the topic that I would throw to because I watched that commercial like 3 times, the most recent commercial where he's like, "Thanks for the $1,000,000 so far. I need 3,000,000 more." And the production value and all the staging that he had done of people walking off buses and shaking his hands, I'm like, "The money they've spent on
Yeah.
that." Right? Like,
Yeah.
I I know, I can't like
Can I just show you guys this? We haven't even debuted this on Rubin Report yet. I think we're gonna show it tomorrow for the first time, but this is now in our official merch store. You guys might like this.
moron,
Oh.
Doreen.
Moron Zamboni for New York City because I can't say his name right, and we thought Moron Zamboni sounds better. That's what we're doing around here during the day.
Oh god. Okay.
That's the retirement money right there, people.
Okay, I'll
Oh
be
god.
praying if you take me with you. Okay. I'm gonna start with super, I'm gonna preface by saying I can't wait to get to Drew's topic. You know, in the news business, we call that the kicker. Like, I cannot, you have to stick around for this. Like, I cannot wait to get to this topic because I'm convinced now that Drew, you are obsessed with this topic.
You know what? I've been dealing with it since about 25 years. Well, 20 years, 20 years, and not of my making. It just keeps coming to me. So you'll see.
Wow, we're not giving any hint as to what it is.
No,
Okay, but it's very
Please,
exciting. All
right.
right.
no, just that Drew has interesting obsessions. We'll just leave it. That's what we call a tease in the business. In the meantime, super serious note, and it's something that we've talked about on this show many, many times, and that is, drumroll please, Epstein files. There's news to report on this front because the bill forcing the release of the files, I already see it, clears the Senate, sent to Donald Trump's office for signature, and of course, by the time this airs, I'm sure it will be signed and onward. So I think both sides would say this is good news, right? I mean, hey, it should make the Democrats happy. They've been screaming about it, for about 10 months instead of the last 4 years leading up to Trump's presidency, which we
Right.
can never, ever let them forget. The hypocrisy is not lost on any of us. And also on the Republican side, because there have been many people, and I went on social media many months ago saying, listen, you can absolutely be so happy for and proud of some of the moves, the majority of the moves this administration has made in doing so many tough, important things that are changing lives of people around the world, and still be critical of, if nothing else, just the way that this has been handled. So today, here we are. I'm going to toss it to you, Dave, first. And guys, just go down the line on this because we've gone from it being talked about during the campaign to the big white binders that Pam Bondi held up, and you have all the influencers in there, and I have it right here and it's on my desk, to silence, to it back up again, to Trump being asked about it, and he says, "Are we still talking about this silly story?" I'm paraphrasing there, to more screaming and yelling. And now he's like, fine, fine, guys, let's go. And now it passes the Senate on the vote was 247 to 1, I think. And now here we are. And all of a sudden, everybody's good. Like, let's get this thing out. Dave, why? Why the quick, first of all, the back and forth, and now the quick reversal and saying, let's go.
Right. Well, I think the short answer to that is that just because sadly very little has to do with what's true and everything has to do with politics, right? So, you mentioned how the Democrats didn't care about it for 4 years. Now they view it obviously as something they can hit Trump over the head with. So they're all about it. But it's not just the Democrats. We did a check on this. Jake Tapper in the 4 years of the Biden administration had one tweet about the Epstein stuff. Now he's relentlessly going for it.
Of course.
What it sort of reminds me of, do you guys remember the week that Elon bought X? Twitter at the time, that everybody suddenly started writing all these stories about that there was all this child on X. Now, of course, there shouldn't be child on X, and anyone that's putting it up there should be dealt with accordingly. But then if you checked all of the Axios and Daily Beast writers who were writing about the child problem on X, none of them had written about it before he got it. So it's the same exact thing. They only see a problem when they view it as something that they can win politically on. What I thought was interesting that we covered this morning on Rubin Report was that a lot of, look, anything that should be released here that can be released as far as, this person literally did this and we have the evidence of it, not just a flight log saying that this guy went there because anyone could have flown there without, that a honeypot if this is assuming this is some sort of intelligence operation, which most people seem to think it is. We don't even know if it's our intelligence or MI6 or Mossad or whatever. Maybe it's all of those. Maybe it's none of those. We have no idea. But a honeypot, you don't necessarily have to get everybody to do the awful thing. You just have to put stink on everybody, right? So just putting flight logs out there, that's not enough. Now, if there's video evidence, if there's corroborated evidence from the victims, et cetera, then that should go out there. But if I understand the bill that was passed correctly, there will still be things that are going to be classified because of national security. So even if they now pin this on a couple of Democrats and a couple of Republicans and all of that stuff, it's not going to satisfy anybody because people will say we still don't have all of it. And the last thing I'll say on this is if you look at the people that are in this administration from Trump and JD and the people that are particularly, in intelligence and FBI related stuff from Bongino, who I know really well, and Cash and Tulsi and all these people, like these are good human beings. And I don't know that we're ever going to get a better set of people that are going to do it. So if these people don't give us what we want, I just don't know not what we want. If these people aren't able to provide the transparency that enough people want, I just don't know I don't even know what to say about that. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah.
Drew, you want to pick up on that? Because that's the problem that I think it's almost like this is like a giant rabbit hole and there is no end in some sense and no one will be satisfied with that.
There's sort of one general note I have that it applies to this topic, to RFK, to exactly what you're saying, which is that these are good people and they need temporality. They need time. We're only 10 months into this administration. Yes, it's unsatisfying the way it's playing out, but let's see where we end up. The patience is sort of what I'm advocating for. But I have 3 takes on this story. May I?
Yeah.
Please.
One is, two of them I don't think anybody's going to have. My first reaction is I am furious. I am apoplectic. Do you mean to tell me it is possible for the Senate of the United States to get something through in 3 hours? That's possible? I did not know that. I am furious. Are you kidding me? It's possible? Oh my God. I am just beside myself knowing that I thought it was impossible. I thought things took days or weeks. Holy moly.
Yeah.
This is something that is eye-opening for me, and it makes me very, very angry. And then that they could do it with unanimity? Wow, that's
Well,
impressive.
one guy did not vote for it. I can't even remember his name, but one guy did.
Doesn't count.
But he's a bit wackadoodle dandy. I looked into some of the stuff that this guy's he's out there.
That's my one take. My other take is, and Sage and Jill, I think, Dave, are too young for this reference, but you will. It's right in my sweet spot, and even you are a little young for this, but it's that Donald Trump has become the modern Bugs Bunny, because whenever he says it's wabbit season, the other side says it's duck season. And so don't release the Epstein tape, release the Epstein tape. And all of a sudden Trump went, it's duck season. Release the Epstein tape, and the left went, no, we don't want it anymore. It's duck season, wabbit season. Every time Donald Trump opens his mouth, I suggest you look at that on YouTube, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Just
I know it.
Who here was not supposed to get the Bugs Bunny reference?
I know. Bugs is the best.
Wait,
you all get it?
Yeah, we all got it.
Drew,
Okay,
I'm the oldest of the 3 of us, not you, but I'm older than Dave and Jill. So unfortunately, I know Bugs Bunny.
No, okay, good. So,
F you, Sage. I know Bugs Bunny. F you, buddy. I think that's the most upsetting thing you've ever said to me, and I am considering.
All right. Well, good.
Every time I bring you on the show, I say, "What's up, Doc?"
I gave everybody a possible out.
Yes.
It's good that we all get the reference. So I suggest if those of you are younger than us or don't get the reference, just go to YouTube and type in Bugs Bunny duck season, wabbit season, and this video will come up that shows you precisely what I'm talking about. And it is so. Adam pointed that out to me at Corolla, and I was just like, "Oh my God, this is exactly who he is." All right, number 3, my third take is, there was a little, you mentioned, Dave, how we're not going to be satisfied. There was a little barely noticed sort of provision in this document that says that if there's an ongoing federal case that applies to any of the content of the files, that will also be withheld. And I don't know if you noticed, I think Trump put out took a suit this morning or yesterday that may put a damper on some of the materials.
I second that. I was trying to figure out, like, what does the bill actually say? What's actually allowed to be redacted? Is this gonna be drips and drabs? Are we really gonna get anywhere? Kind of like you said, this is the rabbit hole that has no end. A pun intended in this particular instance.
All rabbits today.
Um,
Only
I
rabbits.
don't I think
Wait till I get to the hair topic.
Yeah.
HARE.
Oh, that was good. That was
Oh,
good. Nobody else
Don't
knows
give
what
it
you're
away.
talking about, but that was good.
I said HARE.
Don't do it.
Oh.
Don't give it away. It basically just said, like, I tried to do some research. Dave, you'll probably know this better than anyone here, but like, they can't redact embarrassing material. They can't redact stuff that harms reputation, stuff that's politically sensitive, names of officials or foreign dignitaries. They can redact the identity of victims, info tied to ongoing prosecutions that are still active. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. Shit. So, guys, the one thing that I can tell you I've learned about myself throughout all of this is that I respect the politician that is not tribal. Because wasn't it Thomas Massey who and Ro Khanna who led this whole thing? Wasn't it those two guys? And I noticed that I either lean if Fetterman speaks out against his side, I have respect for Fetterman. If Ro Khanna and Thomas Massey, and it's not about going against your side, it's about doing what's right in spite of the tribal pressure. I just think politicians should pay attention. People are attracted to authenticity and those with good intentions.
Do you guys think anyone is going to get like actually arrested from this or anything else? Because like if you think of all the craziness around Russia hoax and all of the COVID stuff that we've been through a million times and just like all of the scandals and everything that we've all lived through, nobody ever pays the price. Like you think they're dragging Tom Hanks away in handcuffs after this, like, or whoever, you know what I mean? Like,
Mm.
I just don't think so. I for whatever reason, I just don't think so.
What about like the Manaforts and the Steve Bannons and like they all had to pay some sort of a price? And do you think because they didn't show up or testify? I'm not quite sure. I didn't follow that closely at the time. But do you think because with the Russia hoax, didn't they send a bunch of Trump's people to jail because they wouldn't testify or something? Like my point being, I do think there will be sacrificial lambs. I'm not saying I don't know what Bannon did or didn't do. I don't know. But
Somebody.
if somebody went to
Yeah.
jail for something,
Yeah.
my point being, is there gonna be some sort of sacrificial lamb out there, like one fall
Scapegoat.
guy?
Right.
A scapegoat.
Well, look,
Yeah.
the
Blood on
one
the
thing
altar and everyone's happy.
Yeah.
the one thing that seems really weird here is that Giselle Maxwell is in jail already
Yeah.
basically for this. So if she's in jail and they
Mm.
prove that we could check what the actual indictment, what she was put in jail for specifically, whether it was child trafficking or whatever, or prostitution or whatever. But they must have had some evidence of who she was trafficking to, not just that they were, kids or whatever involved, but who were the clients. So
Yeah.
somebody has to know something. So I guess, yes,
Yeah.
something will come out
Did
of
you
it.
did you see Larry Summers' behavior in the last 24 hours? Whoa.
Did he step down from the board or something? Or
He just sort of went into he said there's all kinds of incredibly sort of problematic material out there, including him telling Epstein that he was his wingman. And he is admitting that he showed poor judgment. I don't want to put the words out unless I knew them exactly, but he's essentially taking accountability and stepping down from everything except teaching. I thought was odd. I bet he gets dismissed from that too. But he is behaving like somebody who's in big trouble.
Guys, I'm just letting the dog in. Don't stop talking. Hold on.
I love it. Okay.
I don't know who he is, really. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I mean, Sage, do you think you think people are going to end up in jail at the end of all this, or like that there's going to be some, like, will it ever go away? I mean, will the bulk of people who care about this, will they ever be satisfied, I guess, is
I
the
think,
issue.
Dave, we are so caught up into this primitive mob action. And the one thing I know about mobs is they must find a scapegoat and then they must sacrifice, as Jillian said, or get blood from the scapegoat. It could only be one, but the mob has to be discharged. That's
Yeah.
what you're talking about, this kind of energy that's building up. I don't know who or how or what, but it just occurred to me as we were talking about it that Larry Summers sure did behave like somebody who's like got big concerns.
There's a lot of people, who I think are probably, nervously paying very close attention to all of this. 2 things, 'cause to answer your question, Dave, I'm gonna be optimistic, and yes, so at some point, somehow, some way, some people will be held accountable. It's the layers of it, right? And to what end? So will I or many others ever be happy, fully happy? Probably not, unless we get all of the names and all the evidence out there. And I just don't think that's going to happen. It's just that since none of it has happened after we were promised, we just give us a little something and show that transparency that you run on, because I've been so proud of that word. And I do think that that's why we have to be responsible in this. Everyone knows how I lean politically, but at the end of the day, I need to be transparent too and not be quiet on something that there's a lot of wrongs that happen. And so then we're hypocrites if we stay quiet. And I'll end on this. Actually, I retweeted this clip earlier today, um, from remember when Amy Roback, when she was at ABC News and she was in a commercial break
Yes.
and she was talking, she was pissed. She was livid at how she had the story, she had victims, she had so much on tape and other people willing to talk. And ABC News for 3 years suppressed it. These are Amy Roback's words, and she was livid. And I hadn't seen that clip. That clip is 6 years old. So again, it goes way back, and that was during Trump 45 as well. It goes way back. So as far as accountability, what about the news media? I mean, what are we going to send ABC News and all their constituents to prison? No. But just like what happened with Jake Tapper, and when he came out with his book and the hypocrisy there, I want to go deep on that because that's the reason why mainstream media is screwed for life and there's no credibility, which is okay because that's why we matter more now because the trust has gone out the window. But we need to all be accountable, even if it's uncomfortable and it involves people that we know.
And by the way, putting aside the Higgins guy for just a second, the fact that everyone else in the House voted for it, that also, to me, is like a little bit of an alarm because it's like these guys agree on nothing.
Yeah.
Suddenly, out of nowhere, the most controversial thing,
Yeah.
everybody got on board at the exact same time. And as you pointed out, Drew, this could be done in like 3 hours. Something about that in and of itself feels a little bizarre. So, we're in a big game, guys. We're in a soap opera.
We
It
sure
is.
are.
Jillian
Disappointing.
Michaels.
Oh, was it me? I thought we were doing and Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Here, I'll
Did
throw just
Marjorie
because that was
Taylor
heavy.
Greene first.
It's
That
hard.
was heavy.
MTG.
You know what? I'm going to pause. I'm going to pause on MTG for a second. I'm going to show you
Okay.
this clip of Ghostbusters star Leslie Jones.
Oh, that's right.
I'm sick of men telling me, oh, well, you hardcore. Yes, I am.
Can you handle it?
Oh, well,
Yeah.
what you bringing to the table? I am the table. I don't understand why you wouldn't want a woman like me. I am successful. I'm rich. I can fight.
She's successful, she's rich, she can fight, and she is a table. Sage, help me with that. I'm not sure why I wanted to play that clip. I played it this morning and I couldn't really make any sense of it. And she's a table and she's rich. It's a lot.
I hadn't seen it. Rubin, this is why you gave up on women because of women.
It's true. I never felt gay pride until I watched that clip and I thought I am doing it right.
Where's your rainbow now? She's so stereotypically, like, not just angry. And then let's sit there and pose for the camera and do this. I don't know why men don't like me. You know what? She's a great stand-up comic. Just go with that and let's act like it was just a bit. Because otherwise, this is scary where we come to. And I love how the studio audience and Kelly, it's like, yes, girl. Stop it.
Well, I guess maybe that's why I wanted to play it, because it's sort of like, it struck me as kind of like the end of this feminist thing that has really gone awry, where now it's like this, and I get it could partly be a bit, but like this kind of like angry
It's
woman.
not a bit.
No, all right, go ahead.
Well,
I've been on the other end of it. I'm almost sure this is the woman. I think she was on hosting the Daily Show, Jon Stewart's Daily Show. And she went
she
after
did that for a
me,
bit.
like intensely and aggressively, like I'm a white nationalist and all this stuff. And I very, calmly responded. I didn't catch it at first, and everybody was sending it to me, and I was like, wow, there's There's a lot of anger there. You want to talk about it? Like, you have an open invitation to discuss these feelings. Bit of a mischaracterization I think you've made, but and of course, no response. There's never a response. With people like this, the Democrats, it's always like a drive-by shooting. They attack you and then run. And you're like, I'm willing to step into the ring, and they never show up and then pretend like they don't know you made the invite. But no, she's legitimately pissed, and not just against men, like against white people, and she's pissed. And I would love, honestly, and truly, for somebody who's pissed like that, to come and talk to me and explain why you're pissed. And we're alluding a little bit to Drew's segment, because there's some more pissed off individuals, one in particular in that segment. But the black people that always come talk to me, unfortunately, I mean this, I say unfortunately, are going to be like the Brandon Tatums, the Byron Donalds, and we see eye to eye on so many different things. So I wish somebody like her would show up and talk to somebody like us.
But they don't
And
want.
explain,
But they
why
don't
are you so
want.
mad?
They don't want to feel better. I mean, you're leaving too much money on the table when you stop dividing and making everything about race. They want to be angry, and apparently they want to be described and looked at as a table. That's so hot. It's
Drew,
so
what
hot.
kind of what kind of man should she be going for with that attitude and that moxie? What's the type of man she should chase?
Let me start out with, I'm a big Leslie Jones fan. I think, and I have no problem with this whole thing, frankly. It's very consistent with how her comedy and everything else, but it just the men that tend to go for this kind of thing are the opposite. So there's gonna be a lot of opposite, and she may not be interested in that. So that will be interesting. But all of this stuff keeps reminding me of the different flavors of a phenomenon I'm going to keep bringing up on this show, because it is a pervasive issue, and it goes under the heading of the paradox of declining female happiness. That this is a paradox that has been observed since the 70s. It has many facets to it. It has not been fully explained, but it is highly measured. It's in the data that the more freedom, the more involvement in the workplace, the more professional achievement, the less happy women are, especially in the United States and in the West in general. And part of it is exactly what I think Sage said, which is kind of expectations meets, if my expectations are shattered, I feel victimized. And then being reinforced as a victim, of course you're going to be unhappy and never find happiness. So there's some of that playing out here too.
To be clear, I'm throwing this clip out here more as just sort of fun ridiculousness than whether she's actually being serious about she is the table.
Dave, that was
sort
an
of
attack on me. You're attacking me for taking it seriously.
Yeah.
No,
Go get him, Dave. Guys, I don't know. I do think she's pissed though, because I've been the recipient of it, and it's like when you suggest, like, why don't we talk it through? And it's not just her; it's going to tie back in later, and there is a theme, and I don't know if it's about. And there are two themes. One is like F you white people, and another one is about Black beauty. And I'm like, who doesn't think Black women are? I don't know, but we'll get there.
I'm going to get to that
Conversation.
should we just do it? Drew, you want to just do it now?
That happens. Drew, you said that about women and anger. And a friend sent this article to me a couple of weeks ago, and I haven't felt like this reading an article in a very long time. And it's called The Great Feminization. Did you guys see this? I thought maybe we talked about it.
I'm familiar with it. I can send you some podcasts with that author in there.
Okay.
And there's even there's a layer above The Great Feminization. There's a whole world starting to evolve there on that topic.
What is it?
Fascinating. And, as great as it is that women have, and tell me if I'm paraphrasing well enough, Drew, I'm sure I'm not, but have risen to power, and women being allowed to vote, of course, all great positives, right? And women rising through the C-suites, etc. What has come with that is that women usually lead with emotion. And I love that about us. I wouldn't change it. And is it always the best thing when making big, important decisions? Like, it goes super deep into much further than that. But I agreed with so much of it. And it gets, taking us away from in many ways, the traditional roles, even though we can do more than just that, look what's kind of happened with the great feminization over the last half century or so. How did I do?
Well, can I just real quick, everyone's always afraid of saying traditional roles. And, Jillian and I live somewhat non-traditional lifestyles, actually, yet within very
Jillian
much
is going to
actually.
be Julius Caesar. Do you understand me? Julius Caesar. That is forever in my mind. So
But the thing
Pause
is,
Brutus, please, just to
the
be clear. Yes.
the thing is that the things that are the norm over time, there's a reason they're the norm, and that doesn't mean that everyone has to fit into the norm. And I think in a sane liberal society, you want a room so that there's people that are outside of that to figure out how they fit within some kind of functional framework.
yeah,
Unfortunately, what the left has done over the last couple of years is go so bananas with everything that they're just like hacking away at the norm
Yeah.
the entire time. But if you think about it this way, if the feminist movement, which at first was for just equality, like voting, of
Yeah.
course, and being treated equally, that's just, right? But then when they started doing something else, which was basically telling women to care more about your career than your family, then you delay the age that women start having kids. That changes the family dynamic. Or you tell them not to have kids at all. Now you're a 30-something-year-old woman, and yeah, okay, maybe you make six figures, and maybe you're dating, maybe you're not. But then you start looking at your friends who did have families and kids earlier, and that tends to be, let's say, a little more emotionally important maybe for women. And then they start getting angry. We've talked about this before, like the rash of sort of childless, unmarried, 50-something-year-old female comics who are seriously bitter. And it's because they were sold something that wasn't legit in some sense. And of course, it can work on the individual level. Of course, there is a
of course.
50-year-old, of
course.
course.
But Drew, just the way women vote, and look at the liberal women, most liberal women, it is based on emotion quite often. Why the Democratic Party has done such a good job, and they were only able to focus on abortion, and then the 0.005% or whatever, random number I'm making up as far as bad part of immigration and sending people back. It's all emotion, not facts, and the actual fallout. So that is why emotion in this situation, it's a great breakdown in this article.
Drew, are there numbers? Are there numbers on depression? I'm sure there are, but are you aware of numbers on depression for sort of like early 20s, male and
Oh,
female, how it breaks?
anything in the youth category, the women fall out completely. It's a lot of it's blamed on. There's so many factors going into female unhappiness right now, and in the younger group, we primarily think it's the social media. We
But
think
what
it's
about men? Guys
what's
also
that?
seem kinda miserable. Like, their testosterone's down. Like, guys also don't seem happy. Like, maybe there's just a general overarching theme of modernization, too much bad shit coming at you all the time. I mean, I don't know. We're being just bombarded with bad news, and I don't know, but everyone kinda does seem less happy. Guys can't make a living for their families anymore. I don't know, guys. I don't know if it's just a woman thing or the way we have evolved as a society.
Yeah, well, it's definitely not just a woman thing. I had Scott Galloway on this week, who you guys probably know of at least, and he's sort of an expert in what's going on with young men right now, and it's just a very different set of things. Young men, basically, because they're spending so much time with video games and porn, they've just kind of created a separate world that then enables them to never have to say hello to a girl or go outside or whatever. And he makes a great point. He's like, for all the years that you will spend in your basement self-medicating, like you eventually will explode. Like that, it can work for a while, but eventually when you realize you're in your parents' basement and you've accomplished nothing other than the side quests that you're doing on video games, there's a toxic thing going on there. But that's different than sort of the body image stuff that girls are getting from Instagram or whatever.
And so men have been told they're worthless, they're toxic, all these things, and they've gone into hiding because of it. And they're like, and they told that if they ask a girl out, particularly if they're at a bar, they get caught or thrown out. It's just so of course they hide out. That's what men do, and then they get angry. And it's interesting. It's the millennials you're mostly talking about, to some extent, some of the older Gen Zs, but they're kind of separating into two groups now, and they need they're looking for direction, and a lot of it is spiritual. They're actually asking for spiritual guidance. They need to make meaning. They need to be meaningful. They need to contribute. And there's a subset within the millennials that are really inspired. They see only opportunity, but their cohort for some reason can't see it. So it's there if we could get them inspired in some way. They're looking to us.
Putting aside whether you were male or female or straight or gay or anything else, can you imagine, like, if we were that age now and to be dating when it's all done on apps and, like, you've already learned everything about the person before you've ever sat down with them. You know what I mean? Like, everything's been, you know what their favorite sport is, you know where they go on vacation, you know where how many siblings they have, all of the shit you've probably seen them naked before you sit down with them, like the entire thing. It just takes the mystery out of everything. And I think, Jillian, that's probably to your point of, like, so then everything becomes kind of like gray in a sense. You know, there's just no mystery.
I worry about it a lot with my son, and you know what? He hasn't given me any indication to worry, but I know what's going on with young men, and I see what's going on with some of the kids that he knows, and, I track it very, very closely. Who is he listening to? Who is he following? How does he treat women? How does he treat strangers? Does he get the door? Does he make eye contact? And for some reason, I worry less about my daughter. I don't know why. I think maybe because she's surrounded. You guys, I don't know. I don't know, but it does worry me. And I'll give you a key reason, because girls aren't following Nick Fuentes. Boys are. And so I guess I feel like maybe women's anger is a little bit less dangerous. Maybe I'm wrong though. Um, Dangerous, saying straight up dangerous, like Antifa psycho, who I just said this recently, who uses arson as a love language and assassinates Charlie Kirk, right? You've got the left and their group of like boy lunatics, and now you've got Nick Fuentes and his group of boy lunatics, and you don't see girls doing this stuff. So I guess for some reason, their unhappiness has been less of a concern, because boys can result to violence, whereas women result to self-harm. And this is my fault. I should be paying attention, unilaterally.
It's so hard, so hard. And I do think with women, yes, obviously it's different. And the body image things, all the things that come from social media and from the music and the kind of music. And then you've got the Cardi B's and like what all of that is promoting and what that tells our daughters. And I have 2 daughters and a son. And yes, very, very different conversations. But I have been adamant with Nicholas, who's 21 now, about being the man and leading. And yeah, he's witnessed strong women in his life, and he's the middle of 2 sisters. He is, he deserves to be sainted, is what he deserves after the last 21 years of his life with sisters. But honestly, I think so much of it relies on us as women, because sometimes intentionally, other times inadvertently, we have been really tough on men and scaring them to the point where they can't even tell us they like our dress at work, you know? So I think sometimes we have to look inward and what can we do, because we bitch and moan about the men, but then we're the ones that are pushing them away. And then Leslie, which is a hysterical clip, but at the end of the day, no wonder you guys are like, I'm good in my basement, you know?
Yep. And pretty soon there's going to be an AI girlfriend who doesn't give you any kind of a hard time. And then we're really in trouble.
My girlfriend that quite literally will eventually also be a robot. Like, you're talking about a digital thing that's going to be on your phone, but then that's going to be a robot too. That's a whole other thing. You know what, real quick, because I can sense everybody, we should probably get to Drew's topic real quick, but I want to throw to this one thing that's sort of related to the first topic about the Epstein stuff, because, Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene have gone their separate ways here. And I thought, putting aside why it's happening or anything else, I think one thing that's interesting, I'm always more interested in the narrative than the specifics of the fight. And one thing that I think is super interesting right now is that CNN is now salivating over this woman who they called racist for years and evil and horrible and blah, blah. Now she's turned against Trump and she is a hero. Watch this.
Tyler?
Yeah, remarkable interview, and just
a sea change from what we've seen. In some ways, some of the rhetoric she was saying sounded like Joe Biden of there's more that unites us than divides us. That is not the sort of rhetoric we are used to hearing from President Trump and the
First off, that in and of itself is just not true. But the broader point, she's now been on CNN a couple times in the last week, and they're really showing her a ton of love. And to me, that would be the biggest red flag. If you're someone on the right, and then suddenly you're getting love from the people that are always trying to destroy you, putting aside what your issues are with Trump, you should probably be a little worried about that, don't you? Sage, you're in the Fox News building right now. Like she's not going to be welcome there as much anymore, but she can go to CNN whenever she wants now.
I know, and I feel like deep down, doesn't that bother her? You know, I will say this, that might be the only good, relatively fair question that Dana Bash has asked in a really long time, if ever, maybe. Because it is a fair question where she said, okay, well, you've been quiet for a long time. And so, what has changed? And whether we like what Marjorie Taylor Greene said, what her answer was, at the end of the day, she's like, I humbly apologize and I shouldn't have taken part. So I hate the situation, but I'll give her credit there. At the end of the day, yes, Dana Bash, like I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I've gotten invites to go to CNN, and I'm like, I'm choosing in my life. I didn't have the choice for 30 years. I'm choosing my life to not surround myself with a certain type of person that feeds into ugliness and lies and divisiveness. But I don't know. Part of me very much respects what she's doing, the act itself, maybe not all that comes with it, because she realizes what she's doing, that by pushing on this, she's throwing so much away and putting herself in harm's way figuratively. So I struggle with it in many
But
ways.
don't you think though the contrition has to go both ways? Meaning, that's exactly what I said on the show. If someone is actually putting away some of the hatred and vitriol and blah blah blah, like that, I think is good. But I saw Sunny Hostin talking about it, and Sunny Hostin's like, it's great, she's putting away the vitriol. But lady, you are like the queen of vitriol,
That's what I
or
was
if
thinking
you're
when I watched that clip. I'm like, wait a minute. The MAGA base, like that's all
right,
they
right.
do.
So
All
they
the
right.
MAGA base. They're racist. They're this. They're that. They're disgusting. Oh my God, they're the devil. Like this is all that they do is divide and race bait and spew hatred. It like I just oh my
How do you really
God.
feel?
Oh God, and the thing is, I've been in both of these camps. I speak from personal experience. I've been the Marjorie Taylor Greene character in so much that like suddenly you find yourself talking to Hannity on Fox News, and you're like, wait, how did I get here? But Hannity never tried to destroy me. The right never tried to destroy me ever. And I went on Fox News to discuss what we had in common and then try to explain some of the things that we didn't. And subsequently, I went on CNN to try to explain some of the things that both sides have in common and some of the things that we see differently. And to be honest, the left is far less open to that conversation. It goes both ways. And the left is never interested in bridging ideologies. They don't show up for debates. They only launch into ad hominem attacks and shout you down. My invite to Leslie Jones, my re-invite to Abby Phillip, Ashley Allison. It's all the same story. Van Jones. He was never showing up to talk to Charlie. We all know this. They just want to spew hatred. That's all they do.
I
So
mean,
anyway, I'm sorry,
Van
I can't.
Jones, two days before Charlie was killed, Van Jones was trying to connect Charlie to Irina Zarutska, who got killed in Charlotte. Sage, I heard what you said about Cheryl Hines, who said the same thing. I just interviewed her the hour before I just started this with you guys, and we've talked about that too, because, as someone that comes from Hollywood, she was not expecting when Bobby got in on this. Well, he was a Democrat at first. She was not expecting to be welcomed into the right. And now she's like, these people are kind and decent. And she said, I shouldn't have been surprised, but she's having an honest contrition about it. True.
Two things. One is it's not unique to this country. I listened to a lot of French politics, and Marine Le Pen was pointing this out in the assembly. She kept saying, "I hear nothing but hatred from you people. It's the you tell me I'm hateful because I want to get out of this Algerian, sort of they got out of this Algerian contract." And she goes, "But I hear nothing but hate from you. You are the party of the hate." I thought, "Oh, it's the same thing over there." Number one, and number two, have you guys? I didn't hear. I lost my sound for a second, but have everybody interviewed Marjorie Taylor Greene? Have you guys all met her?
One time, one time.
I found her to be very genuine and as somebody who goes with what she believes to be true. When she gets someplace that she believes is so, she will go there and go there full force. And I think there's going to be a reconciliation with Trump eventually. I do. I think he actually admires people that do that, that do their own thing, but he's not going to let it go without a big reaction.
Well, I mean, that tweet he put out, I mean, and that's when you just go, "Okay, I'm not surprised, but this is why people go, 'Oh my god, shut up.'" Like, it's
No,
what's
it's totally consistent. It's not
and
new.
you
It's going to
Yeah.
happen. It's
it
going to
is.
listen. I just look at Kim Jong Un, like, "Hey, Rocket Boy, we're going to get you," and then, "Oh, let's go shake hands." Oh, I like that dude. I like the kind of his jib.
You're right.
It's like eh, it's not. It's sort of not real in a way. It's just part of the negotiating strategy, I
It
guess.
is what it is. Drew, they're
Yeah.
giving me the signal here, so you got to get into this story. People
All right, very
need
Okay,
quickly.
this story.
I just have one question about Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah.
I've never done my homework on her. Did she not suggest, I don't know, I have not done my homework on her, that she questioned whether the Parkland and Las Vegas shootings were staged? Like, didn't she do some super duper crazy shit? Just saying.
Yes.
Didn't she?
She will
Okay.
believe some crazy stuff and then talk about it and then go, "Oh,
That's,
my
I
bad."
mean, I'm just, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Again, I don't think anyone's defending any of the crazy stuff. To me, the bigger story is I just think it's great to have contrition and say you've done wrong things or were participated in whatever. We've all done that. But to me, it's like if you are now being welcomed by the very same people who were trying to destroy you, who were doing what you're apologizing for, you
You're right.
may want to get an apology out of them. Otherwise, you're probably just being used.
She's
You're
being
right.
sure. Yeah.
Good
Good.
point.
That is a good point. All
All
right, here we
right. So,
go.
all
But
right,
none of
D.
this is as important as
Drew
what
too.
Drew is about to talk
Well,
about.
it's not,
Go for it, Doc.
it's way, the buildup is far greater than the reality here. And we're switching from HARE and Bugs Bunny to HAIR and Michelle Obama's hair. Do we have the video, Rachel, of her in this interview where she talks about having to straighten her hair? Do we have that?
Worry about it. Let me explain something to white people. Our hair comes out of our head naturally in a curly pattern. So when we're straightening it to follow your beauty standards, we are trapped by the straightness. That's why so many of us can't swim and we run away from the water. People won't go to the gym because we're trying to keep our hair straight for y'all. It is exhausting and it's so expensive and it takes up so much time. Braids are for y'all so we can work harder and focus on the work. So why do we need an act, an act of law to tell white folks to get out of our hair? Don't tell me how to wear my hair. Don't wonder about it. Don't touch it. Just don't.
So a couple things. First of all, when I think of straight hair, I think about Asians and Native Americans. I don't think about white people necessarily. Dave, your hair's not that straight. My way growing out, not straight, but that was kind of interesting. And I've had to, and by the way, I love the variety of hair that I think Corinne Jean-Pierre's hair was magnificent. I think Sage's hair is magnificent. I find it super appealing and attractive. So speaking on behalf of all white people, I don't think we are that we don't yeah, we don't think about it that way. But I've had to do a few shows about Black women and hair. And it's not of my design, but I got fascinated by it. I had a daytime talk show on CW, and we had these groups of panels of African American women. And when I kept going, but why the straight? Why I'm not seeing where that's coming from. And you, Sage, help me, please, please help me, because this one woman friend said to me, she goes, "Look, where this came from was the slave owners preferred that, and they got into it and straightened the Black women's hair and insisted on it." And I said, So you're going to go with those assholes provisions? That's that you're going to stay with that? And then I thought, well, maybe it's recurrent trauma. You know what I mean? Trauma is a way of being reenacted. Maybe it
Oh,
was that in the beginning, and it's a
like,
traumatic reenactment. What do you think?
like, might as well just ask for reparations for having curly hair now. Like, shut up, shut up. It is ridiculous. And I find it when I saw that clip, I was like, walk away, Sage, walk away. And of course I couldn't because what are you doing? You're sitting there bitching about white people's standards to force you to make it straight. And what are you doing? Getting paid $100,000 plus per speech, straightening your damn hair. Is anyone telling you what to do? No.
That's the thing, she have her hair straight. I'm like, but
Straighten it.
oh,
It's and I tweeted about it, and literally the number of people who were like, yeah, I'm white, and I have never once thought about black women's hair or telling you how to wear it." Now, are there deep-rooted issues? Yes. We talked about this over the summer on one of the shows. I think it was the first show that you were on, Drew, and I told you how deep it does go and how, as a biracial woman with what is called good hair, I am I yes, trust me, Jill, hated, disliked, whispered about, "Oh, she thinks she's better than us because she has good hair." Wait, what? Did I ask for this? Actually, when I was on TV for 30 years, I mean, it was different and weird because every woman, including white women, straighten their hair when they're on TV. The fact that she is using this now and talking about we can't swim because of our hair, like, there's just so many layers that she again, going into the divisiveness as she is the ultimate capitalist, and God bless her for that. And maybe most importantly, like this is funny and comical as she tries to sell her book. I feel like she must have the same publicist as Karine Jean-Pierre with the book thing, because every single time she gets on stage to talk about the book, she is laughed at more and more. They have been out of office for almost a decade. This is a former first lady, and this is what you're doing with your platform right now. Hating on your husband and bitching about the fact that white people are making you straighten your hair. I've lost all respect for this woman because of how she's choosing to behave with that title, a former first lady. Like, it's funny and it's pathetic.
So I think the latter part of what Sage just said there is my main takeaway. It's like, to whatever extent any of this is even true or matters or wherever it comes from or anything, it's like, lady, you could be doing so much good right now and figuring out ways to empower young people and all of those things. And this is what you're focusing on. And by the way, this isn't just a one-off. I mean, it's been a recurring thing with her. I'll just say one other thing. I didn't realize the swimming thing was directly connected to this. So
I've heard that.
black people, is the implication black people can't swim because somehow the straightened hair is going to sop them down? Or, I mean,
Because
Sage, I
that
got a party in a couple weeks. We're throwing you in the pool.
if you
You know
go
how to swim?
swimming.
You can't
That
mess
is
with the hair. You can't get
It
wet.
doesn't stay straight if you go swimming. But I know this because I obviously have a child who is 99.9, literally 99.9% West African. Eh, pure West African. And just Sage, if you don't mind, just one thing she goes on to say, like, and no, you cannot touch our hair. And here's the thing, white people only want to touch afros because we admire them. No one's trying to touch you, but when people do want to touch your hair, it's like it's because we actually think it's beautiful and cool. And then when white people want to go get braids, you tell us that we're appropriating your culture, but then she just said that we made her go get braids. Like,
She's only making braids for you. And there's an infamous clip of me on SportsCenter probably 13 years ago when Chael Sonnen, the former UFC fighter, in the middle of a live segment, and he was crazy, like a live wire on TV and so much fun. And he leaned over just to kind of mess with me on live TV, and I was young and new. And he's like, "You have beautiful hair. Can I touch it?" And I guess that was a no-no. Growing up, it didn't matter. I get compliments literally.
weird. See, you shouldn't touch a stranger, but I mean, it's an admiration thing.
You have to look at the clip and you have to understand the context of who he is. And he's like borderline comedian and trying to make people feel awkward. And it worked. And I was like, I don't care because look, I can't control it anyway. And it's so funny because at the end of the day, I was looking at it from a sports perspective. Like, I'm trying to fit in with the guys here. And if he says, if I
Right.
say don't touch my hair, then it's some girly girl on SportsCenter. And I was like, I actually don't care. Go for it. And he's like, oh my God, it's beautiful and it's soft, right? Every single day, no matter where I am, every day, you can ask my husband, people say something nice about my hair and like, oh my God, your curls. And so, like, it's a compliment, and no one is forcing us to do anything. As far as the swimming thing, I'll end on this. Maybe with women, yes, because there are times when, guess what? I don't want to get my hair wet either because then I got to start over. It takes 4 hours to dry. So I'm
Hello?
sorry. What does
I
that
get
mean
3
for
days out of a blowout.
right? So what does that mean for Black men? What is why are we going to blame black hair on why Black men can't swim too, or is it just the women who can't
Just the
swim
women.
because of
It's
their
just the women. It's
hair?
just the women.
You
That's it. Sage,
Mhm.
I'm telling you, at the Christmas party, it's going to be Black people only in the pool. How's that sound? That sounds okay, right?
you better
Drew?
have paramedics there.
We should probably end the program now. I feel like that was
Mic
the ending.
drops, one mic drop after another here.